Ladies and gentlemen, we are live back here at Philadelphia Comic-Con, and I'm with the one and only Robert Knepper. Thank you for your time.
Actually, there is another Robert Knepper. I'm not the only one. There's a very famous baseball pitcher named Robert Knepper. I think I don't think we are, actually. If we are, we're distant. And it's funny, I get a lot of fan mail still of Prison Break. And one of the letters I got once was sort of this older gentleman's handwriting, and he said, "I've been a fan of yours since I was a little boy." And I thought, wow. And then in the envelope was some baseball cards. And could I please sign? And sorry, Mr. Knepper, but I actually signed your name to these baseball cards because it's my name. So I sent them back to him. I'm Robert Knepper.
Now, what are some current projects you're working on right now?
I had an amazing year. Thank God. I've got a film coming out. I hope right before the election it's going to come out about the team that took out Osama bin Laden. It was called Codename Geronimo. I don't know if it'll end up like that. Catherine Bigelow is also doing a film on the same subject, which I think comes out around Christmas. So I think ours will come out first. I'm about to start shooting a really exciting series called Cult, C-U-L-T, on CW. It's a mid-season show. It comes out in February, I believe. It's a great. I can't talk too much about it because they'll kill me, but it's a great homage to television. It's about a cult, but it's also got a flip side to it about a reality show about a cult, and it's really fun about cult-like fans who go nuts for shows like I've been doing here, like Prison Break and Heroes and stuff like that. And I also had a really fun comedic part in a huge Universal film called R.I.P.D., which comes out next summer with Jeff Bridges and Ryan Reynolds.
Talking about Prison Break, having the tea bag you played in, what was it like being the villain?
I have a great acting teacher. He's so much a part of my life, named Bill Esper in New York. And Bill always taught us, if you're going to play a part, play a great part. And if you're going to play a bad guy, don't play him like a bad guy. So I don't really, imagine if you walked around on this planet and you said, I'm a bad guy. I got to play myself as a bad guy. Bad guys don't think themselves as bad guys. The way you'd knock yourself off before you'd live too much longer. So I tend to try to find the best of every person that I play, because that's how I'd want to be thinking about myself as well. And with him, I just tried to get in touch with his humanity and what had happened to him as a kid, what had damaged him. And the other thing that Bill always taught me and still teaches me is that use your imagination. And I've never been in a fight in my life, and obviously never been to a prison. And here I am playing this devilish character. So I just tried to figure out who he was when he went to sleep at night and go, how does he live with himself? And the word that kept coming to me when I first started playing him was charm. Be charming. And it didn't hurt that he was also Southern, so I could really play with the tones and the rhythms of.
I love the part about that you had with the whole pocket thing where you had him with a pocket. Who thought of that one? That was just great.
I give full credit to the writers. That was right there in the script, and I just played it to a hilt.
Now, how were the other casting members on the show? You get along with them?
Oh God, yeah. No, we were a real true ensemble. It was amazing to, when you shoot a series. In that case, it was 22 episodes. It was network television, so you start in July, and you don't really have an idea until the fall, till the show premieres, how it's going to do. The pilot had tested through the roof for Fox. They knew they had something big on their hands, but sometimes a pilot can test well and doesn't do so well in the series. Every Tuesday morning when the numbers were announced, the Nielsen ratings, I would sit on my trailer steps and literally cry because I was so happy. I've been kicking around for like 20 years, playing lots of parts that people go, "Are you an actor?" Yeah, I'm not sure. Tell me 5 movies you've been in. And I'd stupidly name 5 movies, and they go, no, those aren't it. Tell me 5 more. And then I say, no, I'm not going to do that. After Prison Break, during and after Prison Break, that all changed. And all of us felt that camaraderie and that that sense of, you know, humbleness about the fact that it's really hard to have that happen in your career. So
Now, what was it like working with Paul again on Breakout Kings?
it was great. Actually, Paul Shearing?
Yeah.
No, Paul. I don't think Paul did Breakout.
He wasn't executive?
Matt Olmstead and Nick Santora are the day-to-day guy. I don't know. I have to ask Paul. Yeah. He may have actually been a part of it just because he created Prison Break, but I don't know that he was actually a producer on that. Okay. But Nick called me on that project and said, I want you to think about doing this. I want you to think about coming back and resurrecting T-Bag. And I said, as long as you don't kill him, I want to do it. And during the shooting of it, I remember Nick again called me up and he said, I think this is the best storyline and best dialogue I've ever given T-Bag. And I said, yep, it's true.
Now, what was one of your favorite scenes on Prison Break?
Oh, my God. I had so many.
Brewski cut off your hand, you got the vet, and then the vet guy put your hand back.
The vet thing is great because my dad's a veterinarian, right? Wow. And my family has always supported me in this career, thank God, and they've always been, very loyal fans. But this show, they actually really loved watching as well. And because of that, I didn't want to tell my dad about this plot because the T-Bag goes to what he thinks is a Saturday morning doctor to have the guy sew his hand back on. It turns out that he's a veterinarian, and at the end of the scene, he has to put the doctor to sleep. Now, I grew up with my dad, and I helped him in every step of the way, either getting shots ready or medications, helping him in surgery, and also holding dogs while he put them to sleep. It was just part of being in a veterinary life. And I remember this pink liquid that had the skull and crossbones on it, and you did not want to mix that up with another drug because you're going to kill an animal. And in this story, in the episode, the writers say, I filled up a syringe of like 0.6 cc's or something, or 1.2 c. It was a very small amount, right? And I thought, there's no way you can put a human being, at least 150 pounds, 175 pounds. You can't put a little guy like that asleep with anything less than like whatever it is. But I couldn't ask my dad because that would give away the plot. And I wanted him to be surprised. So the night before shooting, and I couldn't find this out through anybody else in time, so I tried to get it out of I said, Dad, I had this weird dream last night that I said, do you remember that stuff you put dogs to sleep with? It's how many cc's would it take, you think, to put down a guy that's like 175 pounds? Yeah. And there's this beat on the other end of the phone, and I kept thinking, oh no. And he said, why? Do you want to put me to sleep or something? Oh. He thought I was dreaming about putting him to
Oh.
And then I said, oh, okay, the reason is because I got to put this veterinarian to sleep on the show, and can I do it with one? He said, no, that would take like 4 or 5 cc's to do that. Well, 4 or 5 cc's is a syringe like, this big like horror film kind of thing. And I said, well, we can't do that. So we ended up going with the 0.6 cc's or whatever. But the whole point is that even my own dad was such a fan of that show, and I just didn't want to ruin it for him. I had to ruin that moment, but... Yeah. There are so many favorite moments of that show, like slashing Abruzzi's throat with the razor and all the stuff with Mrs. Hollander, pleading with her to try to come with T-Bag, hoping that, she would fall for it and go for it. I love the last moment of the series. That last day of shooting was really emotional day. When T-Bag goes back to prison and he's got the thing with a book and he's like, don't ever show that book to me again. And there's just so many moments. And the thing about my business, I started in the theater, and theater is even more so this case than film and television. It's so much of the immediate, right there in the present. Luckily with film and television, it's preserved. So you get to go back and look at it again. Theater is like, it was a beautiful, shining moment one night, and it's gone. With this, fans can always revisit that show and go, oh, wow. That was the biggest motherfucker ever on television, and I get to see him again and again.
That's awesome. Now, did you always want to be an actor, or did you have any growing up?
I always want to be an actor. My dad kind of hoped I would pick up the veterinary medicine thing.
Yeah.
But I did it for fun when I was a kid in Ohio, like little community theater and children's theater projects, and it was just a way to entertain people.
Well, I want to say thank you very much for letting me interview you a couple minutes of your time, and thank you for everything you do for us fans. Coming out here to Comic-Con and just the TV shows, everything.
It's nice to relate with the fans. It's it's one thing to live in LA and to shoot these things. It's nice to get out and see how people react to it and really are affected by it. So, thank you.
Guys, he plays a villain on TV, but deep down he's a nice guy, guys. So remember, don't keep it nice and neat. You got to keep it completely damaged.